Hello, my name is Trent Wakefield, and today I'm going to give a speech pertaining to what time of the year it is. It's the end of March, and the big sporting event going on right now is March Madness, of course. Everyone knows that. So, one of the biggest arguments around college athletics today is the argument of pay for play, better known as should college athletes be paid? And I'm here to give my viewpoint and also the opposing viewpoint and what should happen. Go ahead, Alex. All right, to give a little background, the NCAA was established in the early 1900s, and what they were originally established to do was they were just going to regulate all their sporting events, come up with like a standard of rules that everyone could follow, and they would be used as like the officials, the umps, the referees in these situations, and they were pretty much just there to make the game fun, not be too intense and competitive, but just to make it fun. And at the time of the establishment, the athletes that went to those universities or colleges were only receiving scholarship money. That's how it was established. That's the way it's been since the beginning. The transformation of the NCAA, as it expanded tremendously as more universities and colleges joined. So through the 40s and 50s, there was a big rise also through as more big-time schools joined in the NCAA. And when that happened, all these schools linked with technology and broadcasting companies such as NBC, ABC, the Foundation of Sports Center, News, anything like that. They were linking with them and getting big-time deals done for millions and billions of dollars. Also, we have promoting sites that were online. They would promote not only the NCAA, but individual colleges, players, coaches, individuals from all these schools. But at that time, none of those people could get money. Only the school itself and the NCAA were the ones getting money, but the players and the coaches were the ones that were the ones making it. And because of this, the NCAA changed to a multi-billion-dollar organization. Look at some of the numbers and statistics. According to Fox Business, Time Warner and CBS contracted a $10.8 billion deal for 14 years to televise March Madness. And that's just two companies right there. Christy Dosh also reported that the premier college football league conferences, such as the SEC, which we all know very well, obtains $200 million a year to have their games put on television, internet, and radio. According to Chris Smith of Forbes, the SEC also was given $52 million in wins for bowl games. Not only to mention, every year a $60 million video game is produced with every statistic of individual players on that. So where does the money go? So in the regular season, $20 million is given to every SEC football team just for having their games televised. Not only to mention, if they win a bowl game, which most SEC schools go to bowl games, they will win several million for doing each of that. Also, top basketball schools, they get millions of extra in bonuses depending on how far they make it in the NCAA tournament, which is happening right now, like I said. If you look at the coaches for the top programs in football, you see Nick Saban of Alabama earns $6.9 million a year annually. And John Calipari, the coach of the Kentucky Wildcats, earns $7 million for his basketball team. So where does this leave the athletes? The athletes are actually put on food restrictions, which means the school only pays for them to eat certain meals and only a certain amount of meals a day. And the amount of food they're given is not nearly enough for a growing athlete, someone who's trying to put on muscle and that sort of thing, unless you're at a big-time school. Medical problems, if an athlete comes across a medical problem such as a basic like little ankle or wrist sprain, the medical staff will take care of it. But if they come across a maybe career-ending injury such as an ACL tear, then the team will most likely disband them and they're left on their own to get their medical problems fixed. Also, at a lot of your big-time schools for football and basketball, we see a lot of the star players coming from low-income families or bad backgrounds, which means they don't have the extra money to pay for these situations that might occur in like extra food or medical bills and that sort of situation. So they're left in the off season trying to work and to work part-time jobs just to have money for when they're during the season to pay for little things like this. First person to count, Shabazz Napier, the point guard of the University of Connecticut Huskies in the 2013 and 14 national championship team, said in an account where he was interviewed that there were many nights that he went to bed starving because of the food restrictions placed on him. And they are one of the best schools in the country for basketball. So what should we do? In my opinion, pay the athletes. Obviously, by this information I presented, I think they should be paid, but there's also a counter side that we have to look at. So the opposing argument poses that large schools with more revenue would just constantly get all the best players because they have the most to offer. That was reported on ESPN. Now that's implying that it would be like salaries and salary cap like they do in the pros. But if they set a standard price where every school had the same amount, then you would eliminate that. It creates gender equality because it would say that they would only pay the men's football and basketball schools. The reasons they would do that is because these two programs bring in more money individually than all other programs combined, men or women. So that's where all the money's coming in. And if you only paid them, then you wouldn't be paying women, which would cause gender problems. And some people still say scholarships and education are enough. That's the way it's been done from the beginning, so there's no reason to change it now. So my solution, pay all college men's and basketball football players for every NCAA Division I school. This payment would be a concrete amount, so every player would receive the exact same amount of money. If players were paid more than others, that, like I said earlier, would be make it like a salary and salary cap, making the professionals no longer amateurs. So this money would only be in place to get them food and like clothing in the off season. And here are my sources for this presentation. And if you would care to check out more information, there's a YouTube video called Why College Athletes Should Be Paid. Check it out. Thank you.